Hey, I'm Manigaran, and today I'm decoding what makes Bytebeam a reliable data logger for hardware devices and how we ensure almost zero data loss in the transmission. So, without any further delay, let's begin. But let's first understand the data flow. Assuming you have some sensors and a gateway device that is collecting all the data from your sensors, now we install Bytebeam's SDK or uplink on the gateway device. Uplink then sends all the data received from your application to the server. The server then writes all the data to the database. Now that we know how data flows in the network, there are some major challenges in data collection. Sometimes the message packets get lost in between the network, and when there is no network or data is very high frequency, it becomes even harder to collect and store the correct data. At Bytebeam, we have designed a very simple yet very powerful way to tackle all these problems. To solve the first problem, we count how many messages your application has received from the sensors. Then we count how many messages uplink has received from your application. Then we also count how many messages the server has received from the uplink. And then we also count how many messages are written to the cloud database. After all, we correlate all these numbers to make sure the data is correct. To analyze even further, we assign a sequence number to each packet that your app generates. So if there is any sequence missing at the database, we know that a message packet is lost. We also have an acknowledgement mechanism between the uplink and the server. So uplink will continuously retry sending a message until it receives an acknowledgement from the server. It ensures that each packet is delivered to the server. Now let's address the problem of no network. In case of network disconnections, uplink will automatically reconnect and buffer the data in memory, and beyond a certain limit, when there is no network for a long period of time, it saves the data on disk. This ensures the offline persistence. Now assume a device is generating data at a high frequency of 1000 Hz. Each message is 20 bytes. Now this becomes 1 GB of data in one day, which cannot be stored in memory. So beyond a certain limit, we store data on the disk. Storing the data solves only one part of the problem. The other part is what happens when the network comes back and you have to send 1 GB of data. The naive way is to send as much data as possible at once, which will lead uplink hogging the bandwidth, and there will be no bandwidth for any other activities. To prevent this, Bytebeam provides you with configurable priority and data limits. So you can tell uplink to set priority over data and configure to send the most important data first and the remaining data later. You can also tell uplink not to send the data. Now that I've decoded what makes Bytebeam a reliable data logging platform, if you want to try out or have any questions or feedback, you can go to bytebeam.io, book a demo, and talk to us. Thank you.